Hi, welcome to my video and welcome to another episode of Pandemic Cooking. Today I'm sharing a recipe for a Ghiya or Lauki sabzi. Lauki is known as bottle gourd and it's a very popular vegetable in India. It's also very easy to find. If there's one vegetable that I'm pretty sure you can find during this lockdown, it is probably Ghiya. This is also a very versatile vegetable. It's a gourd, so I suppose it's a kind of fruit, but it is very versatile. You can make kofta from it, and I have a recipe on my channel. You can make dudhi sabzi. I also have a recipe for that. And today we're going to make a very simple curry using this lauki or ghiya and a little bit of dal, any dal of your choice, actually. This is a rather humble curry. It's a very simple curry, but using that dal is going to help to thicken it up a little bit, give a bit of body to the gravy, a kind of robustness to it. We're also going to be using our pressure cookers, so be sure to have that ready and let's get started. So for this recipe, you are of course going to need a ghiya. And as I mentioned, a ghiya is also called lauki, and it is referred to as bottle gourd in English. This is not a vegetable that I grew up eating. I first encountered this vegetable in India when I moved there after I got married, and I think it was my mother-in-law who prepared a very similar curry. And since then, I've really liked it. So we're going to start off by removing both ends of the ghiya. You can see after removing those ends that this is a vegetable with a very high water content, and it also contains a fair number of seeds. Sometimes the seeds are soft, sometimes they're hard. I find that if the seed breaks easily under your nail, you probably don't have to remove them, but this one was a little bit tough, so I'm going to have to remove the seeds from this ghiya. Another thing that I do is I peel it. You don't always have to do this. I have never had a ghiya with tough skin in India, but for some reason these Canadian bottle gourds always seem to have a really tough skin, so I peel them up here, but I've never had to peel one in India. Here you can see the seeds inside, and you can pick these out by hand, but it's a good idea to cut the ghiya a few times in order to have access to those seeds. Then you can just pick them out with your fingers. If you slice out that whole section, you're going to lose a lot of the fruit itself. So I prefer to just take my time, do this with my fingers, and remove as many of the seeds as I possibly can. Moving on, I have my pressure cooker set up over medium-high heat. I have some tomato, grated ginger, the bottle gourd, my spices, and a bit of salt. I'm getting started with some oil, and to the oil I'm adding some jeera or cumin seeds. Now I have to apologize here because I thought my camera was running and it wasn't. So I added a whole bunch of ingredients but didn't film it. After the jeera, I added some hing, the ginger, the diced ghiya, and then all of the spices, which are listed down below for you. Moving on, we are adding some chopped tomato. I'm actually using canned tomato. I think it actually works really well in this recipe, and I'm combining everything. You didn't miss much. It wasn't very exciting. The jeera crackled and then I added all of that stuff. But definitely go back and pause the video if you need to, or check out the measurements and description in the box below. So everything is combined. Now I'm adding in the dal of my choice, which is masoor dal in this case because it cooks really easily, but you could use chana dal. You could even use moong dal or urad dal if you want. I enjoy masoor dal because it cooks quickly and it's not too heavy. I like to add a little bit of salt at this point, get some of those flavors starting to come together at this stage, but we're also going to adjust the salt a little bit later on, making sure that everything is thoroughly incorporated. And I'm not measuring the water, I am simply adding enough water to just cover the ghiya. As I mentioned, ghiya, bottle gourd, has quite a bit of water of its own, so we don't need to add too much, just enough to cover it. Then we're going to close up the pressure cooker and cook this on high heat for the magic number, which is 3, cooking it for 3 whistles. Now once the cooker has whistled 3 times, you need to turn this down to the lowest heat possible and let it simmer for another 10 minutes. Then when the steam escapes naturally, your ghiya will be done. And this is what it should look like. I'm eating mine on rice, which is my favorite way to eat this sabzi. You can see the ghiya is nice and chunky. The dal has not completely dissolved, but it has added a little bit of thickness to the gravy, and you can still see some of the dal, which is just the way that I like it. Now, as I mentioned, I love this on rice, but you can also eat this alongside like a paranthi or a lacha parantha, any type of roti or a flatbread. It would be great. That's usually the way we eat our leftovers. And that's it. It's a very simple curry with a very humble gravy, but it is a very fragrant and delicious gravy. So I hope you like it. I hope you like this recipe. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and stay tuned to this channel for more pandemic cooking. And also for kitten updates, which are gonna come on Thursday this week. So stay tuned to see how our foster cat and kittens are doing. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.